All right, so just to let you know, I am recording so that I can upload it to the site. Happy Saturday. Everybody good? Ready to roll?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go over kind of some of the things that we did last time we talked, and then I'm going to jump in with a whole new to-do list. Here we go. Tibbles is jumping in. I'll just admit these as they pop up here. Bear with me here. I think there's a going gallery. No. Dibs, what's going on, buddy? Got the flow going, man. Nice flow. Loving it. And Aiden, are you here, buddy? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay, awesome. How are you? You good?
good you.
Excellent, man. Thanks for asking. And is that Emmett? What's the last name, Emmett?
Zamudia.
Moody. Okay, Zudes is here. Perfect. All right. Great group. All right. So what I'm going to do is just jump into my screen like I normally do, and we'll kind of go through some things here. I don't want to spend too much time. I don't want to be on for an hour and 15. That's just too long, but I'm getting a coffee delivered. Just one second. Thank you. Beautiful. Now I'm complete. Here we go. All right, let me know if you can see my presentation. So what I'll do is just share my screen. And I don't see my presentation here. Hold on one sec here. Start again. Hmm. Well, that's not good. You don't want to see that. But,
Here we can see it.
okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. All right, so you know me, what we do. I'm gonna go through here and click through. So again, just so you know, and I'm not a phony baloney, I am certified to do this. I used to play pro hockey, did that for 4 years. I've spoken all the way around, Canada and mostly Ontario, which has been great. I'm doing hockey schools, teaching during the day, and I am or was a AAA hockey coach and a hockey player, right? I do this as a player to help you understand what we're going through. Again, you're not alone. We show this clip often, right? Confidence slumps, injuries, nerves, focus. A lot of people are experiencing the same things you are. As we play in October, what are your pain points and how we can help? So each month we're going to do this in season so that you can take away some pearls as we go through. So, who do you need to be, right? What do we need to improve on? What's our mindset like? How can we help? So, what's on tap? So we'll just go through this. So I'm just going to play 4 short videos to help you calm your brain, give you some strategies to help, gain some perspective, drop the shoulders, relax, understand that that brain thinks that it's being threatened. We'll kind of go over the amygdala and how that wreaks havoc again. We'll talk about psychological distancing. It's being able to back up from your problem or from your struggle or your adversity. And we'll talk in review about seeking praise, avoiding criticism. I want to introduce the be, do, have model. It's a quick little cool switch of your mindset. I want to talk about some of the homework that you guys had to do and see if you've been chipping away at that. Explain vending machine versus slots. Talk about this Bandura's self-efficacy model. It's about an old behavioral psychologist who helps with understanding what are the pillars that help you be confident, right? Mention some perfectionism and what that does to you and how it wreaks havoc as well. And then we've got 3 scenarios to wrap that up. Sound good? Yeah, buddy. All right. First one. Again, our brain views big moments in hockey as danger, right? That all that data is coming into your head. We're stressed, we're overwhelmed, big opportunities. Tournaments are happening in October. We're new to teams. There's a lot of pain points. We might be playing different levels this year. I'm just going to admit one more here. Yeah, so there's a lot going on, right? New teammates, new social dynamic, new coaching staffs. You want to play your best. There might be a transition year from, not being in puberty to all of a sudden going through puberty, and it's difficult. So there's a lot of data coming into your mind. And again, your brain views it as stress. So we're going to build those strategies to calm the brain. So one of the strategies, and this is why we're going to bring in Katie Mack. She'll do a 30 to 40 minute breath work thing where she'll help you understand the importance of breathing during, beginning, after your games out there. So here's just a few strategies that I've found work, and I thought they were pretty cool to share with you. So number one, obviously we know this. Let me just see if I can stop sharing here so I can just quickly review this. Do you see my face now? See my hand? Yeah, we've gone through this before, right? We've got this model of your brain where this is your brain stem. This is the amygdala, the emotional centers of your brain, the prefrontal cortex are your fingers. Okay, so this is what your brain looks like. You perceive that stress, it comes in. Holy crap, man, there's scouts in the stands now, and I'm starting to worry about all of the externals, right? This emotional center of your brain, it really wreaks havoc on you because that data comes in, it stresses you out. This thing's go time, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. Oh God, I don't feel good. It causes anxiety. It releases cortisol, that negative stress chemical. We need to learn to calm down with the prefrontal cortex so the thinking part of our brain can take over, right? We don't want to be overly emotional. So again, this amygdala, the bodyguard of the brain, cuts off oxygen to the thinking part of the brain, and we want to provide that PFC, the prefrontal cortex, with oxygen. So that's why the strategies that Katie will teach you and a few that we'll review now are really important to help calm down, relax the shoulders, get in the zone. Okay, with me? Thumbs up. Good. Excellent. So now I'll share, go back to this. Oh, no, we're here. That's better. Okay, the first strategy for breathing is just a simple, very, very basic one. If you're new to breathing techniques, the 5-finger breathing is a wonderful technique. Okay, and again, that bodyguard of the brain is cutting off oxygen to the prefrontal cortex. Because it's in that fight, flight, or freeze mode, we want to provide it with breath. So you want to breathe in, up a finger, and then down, right? And just up and down. You can also envision a ball rolling up a hill. So you breathe in when the ball goes up the hill. When it gets to the top, nice breath out, 2 seconds in, maybe 3, 3 out. So you're just simply going up and down the breath. Okay, up and down the finger or up and down the rolling of the hill. Okay. Second strategy was called, again, that bodyguard's thinking it's being threatened. So this one's called birthday cake breathing. And I'll just hit play here and you can listen to this doctor explain what that is.
The one I draw your attention to is a practice called birthday cake breathing. It's one of the quickest ways to regulate your nervous system. You're literally like 5 seconds away from regulating your nervous system. And all you need to do is this. In your mind's eye, whenever you need to, just imagine a birthday cake. Just take a deep breath in and just imagine your birthday candles being extinguished. Resets the nervous system every time. If you notice, high performers like athletes do this all the time. Before they do that thing, they just take that moment. And why it works with the image in your mind's eye of a birthday cake is it quiets all the mental chatter. And then that breath work sends a cue up your polyvagal nerve that says, you are safe, you are okay. And as soon as our brain registers that we are okay, it lays down its arms. All of a sudden, our soothing system will start to.
All right. So again, that one's an important one, right? Simple, vision it with your mind's eye, breathe in, blow out that birthday cake. It resets that polyvagal nerve that she's talking about and helps your brain calm down and that amygdala settle down with, I'm not threats. This is just hockey. This is a good thing. Hockey's fun, right? Good strategy. So let's see the next one here.
The one I draw your attention to is a practice.
Yeah. All right. Now this one's called box breathing. And again, that a lot of people use this. This is like a great strategy. The Navy SEALs use it. A lot of athletes use it. And this is for when you have, sorry, just letting in DuPont there. This is when you have a little bit more time, right? So we might not use this strategy when we're on the bench. Maybe it's on the way to the rink. Maybe it's after the rink, something like that. But it's where you inhale for 4 seconds and then you hold for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold again for 4 seconds. And then you repeat that. Let's just, as I'm playing this, excuse me, you're going to see a light that goes by and up around that box. Just follow the light with your breath. And there's words above it. Hold, exhale, hold, inhale. So just kind of follow that. And we'll do that for, we'll see how long, maybe a minute. Okay. Now, how do you feel? Let's talk about that real quick. How do you feel after doing the box breathing one? A little more calm? When I did my work with Katie Mack, she was telling me all about the difference between like shallow breath that we do with our chest a lot in hockey. Get off and we're gassed, versus the diaphragm, which is, I could back up in my room. It's deeper in the chest here where you feel your lungs expanding like that. So she's going to work on that with you and help you understand the difference between a shallow breath and a deep breath. Any of you have problems holding the hold part? Because I do. Sometimes I breathe in too fast, and I can't breathe in enough air. Oh, my timer's going off. I set that for a minute. Huh? Also, oh, what was I just going to say? How long did anybody find it difficult to hold the breath? Yeah, nay, or were we okay? What was easier, breathing in or holding? Hunter, what do you think?
Breathing in for me.
Okay. And now the last question I wanted to ask was, are you breathing in, or did you breathe in through your nose or your mouth? Raise your hand if you're a mouth. Raise your hand if you're a nose. Excellent. Okay. So again, you'll find out through Katie Mack that the nose is way better apparently than, so that she wants to teach you guys to stay away from being mouth breathers. So when I ran a camp this summer, we would run outside too, or do sprints on the ice to trigger that, I'm kind of gassed feeling. And then I made and enforced my athletes to recover through their nose. So they were taking in big breaths through the nose. And apparently it's so much more beneficial for recovery, which is really cool. Right. So again, I'll leave it to the pros. She's an expert in that. She'll be on either next month or the month after. Get back to Sharon here, because we got one more strategy to go over. Yeah. All right. Now this is the physiological sigh that I've talked about. Now this is the one that I love the most. It's timely. You can use it anywhere. Listen to Dr. Andrew Huberman. This is where I learned this.
Stress is an inevitable part of life. And if you're a student and you're serious about your studies, you're going to experience stress. That's just the reality. There's a pattern of breathing called the physiological sigh that involves 2 inhales followed by a long exhale. Inhale through your nose very deeply, and then after inhaling as deeply as you can, you're going to try and sneak in a little bit more air on a second inhale, also through your nose. And then after you do that, you're going to do a long exhale to the point where your lungs are empty. It goes like this. Just 1 to 3 of those physiological sighs can bring you from a state of intense anxiety and stress to very, very calm. There's a function within the VirtuSan app that can teach you how to do physiological sighs so that it becomes reflexive for you anytime you get stressed.
All right. Anybody use that one before? Yeah, it's good. I like that one. So it's then a big long out. It releases that carbon dioxide. And neuroscientist, he's one of the top neuroscientists in the world, that Andrew Huberman. He talks about that breath work a lot. Very, very beneficial. So when we go into our athletic things this week, try them. Okay. If you're stressed at school, try them. And then next time we talk, please let me know which one you practiced and which one you thought was a little bit more beneficial. Good? You awake? Ready to roll? All right. Back to the screen. Here we go. So those were your breathing
Stress is an
techniques. Yeah,
inevitable
we
part.
heard about you. We heard about you. Okay. So now we're going to talk about, again, our brain being threatened or feeling stressed. And we're going to talk about some strategies that will help you distance yourself, right? The first one I like to use is thanks, but no thanks. So now that we have an understanding of what happens in our brain, right? It's in a cave. It can't see what's happening out in the real world. We get stressed about hockey or schools or relationships, or we get frustrated with our parents. That data, that information comes flooding into your brain, and you become really stressed, and your brain has no idea what's going on in the cave. So we need to say to it, thank you, but no thanks. I'm not a cave person. I'm not getting eaten by a lion. I don't need to be on high alert. I don't need these negative chemicals like cortisol. I don't need to be stressed. This is a game I love. This is something I prepared for, that I'm ready to work through. Thanks, but no thanks. So when you sense that you're getting stressed, remember that your brain is taking in that data, but thanks, but no thanks. Like, a lot of us are overwhelmed with performance, right? We have to score every game. Maybe you're the top goal scorer, or maybe you're a big shutdown player, or, maybe your coach is really firm with you, or you have high expectations for yourself. You want to play Division 3 hockey or D1 hockey, or you want to be in the OHL, whatever it is. There's a lot of pressure, and we constantly think about that all the time. I've got to score today. I need to, I should. We get tense. Don't bring that data into your brain. And if you do, you can say, brain, thanks. I know you're trying to help me. I know you're my bodyguard. You want me on tilt, but I don't need that. So thanks, but no thanks. That will help you distance a little bit and help you relax. Thanks, but no thanks. I know what you're doing. I can feel all the triggers happening, the butterflies in my stomach. My palms are sweaty. I'm starting to fret. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm good. Okay. Now, this is, again, a great tool to use. Okay. What's called this distancing. Again, we're talking a lot about the brain being threatened. Distance yourself from your obstacles, right? This one's called psychological distancing. Now, there's 4 ways to do that. Write notes down here. Time. Okay. So sometimes when we're in the moment, we think that it's the worst thing ever. Now, what I want you to think about is, am I feeling and will I feel the same way now that I will feel later? Right. And most times what happens? What happens, kids? If I stop sharing there, what happens if you think about time, if you're fretting now versus the next day? What's the difference between the two of them? Are you as worried the next day? Are you as angry, as frustrated? No, right? So when we think about that, the time thing, understand that now it might be really bad, but just be in the moment, accept that it'll be okay. And then going forward, it might be a little bit different. Okay. And try not to fret too much about that. That's why, when we talk about with parents, that's why there's a 24-hour rule in mind, because sometimes us parents get super frustrated and we want to talk to the coach right away, or we want to message the manager, or we want to fly off the handle. And there's a 24-hour rule to put it in place so that, 24 hours later, you'll feel a little bit better, right? So that's one way to be distanced, to relax a little bit, right? The next one is social. Now, I talk about this as well. Like, let's say Pogi and DuPont, 2 of our kids, they're on the same team. If Pogue was going through an issue or he was frustrated, what kind of advice would DuPont give Pogue, right? DuPont is removed, and DuPont will be much more likely, to be distanced from Pogies, because he's not emotionally invested in that, right? He's not worried about what Pogue's going through. He's listening, and he's pragmatic, which means you're down to earth, you're thinking, and you're able to prescribe and give some sound advice. So what advice would you give a teammate in that situation, in that social distancing, if someone's going through that? So also, if you're going through that yourself, you can distance yourself. What advice would I give someone else? Or what advice would I give myself? I'm in this right now and I'm frustrated, I'm not scoring. But if I were to distance myself, or if I was a different player on my team, what kind of advice would I give me? Okay, so that's one way to step back from this turmoil of, "Oh, I haven't scored, I'm frustrated," and then you back away. So understand that time kind of helps. How I feel now might not be how I feel later. Socially, what advice would I give a friend? And the what if thing is all about being mindfulness, right? We can conjure up things like you make a mistake, you get back to your bench, and all your teammates are frustrated with you because you made that mistake. Your coach just screamed at you and you're regretting the mistake that you made, right? And as you shift down, I've said this before, you get closer to the bench or the gate again for your next shift, you start to worry about the future. So it's all these hypotheticals that ruminate in your mind, right? We need to be able to distance ourselves from that and stay in the moment. Okay. Do your things on and off the ice and try to do it without judgment. We don't want labels either, like versus don't like, want versus don't want. Okay. So try not to get caught up with those, those what if scenarios. Okay. And emotional, obviously, we're tied to our emotional states. We have to be aware of how we're feeling and kind of distance ourselves from that. I can't fly off the handle and dive in, add more gasoline to the fire. We have to be able to back away and realize that, okay, this is a trigger. Something's upset me, and see it, acknowledge the emotional state that I'm in and distance myself from that. Okay, so those are 4 strategies that you can rely on to help distance yourself, especially when your brain is taking in that data. Oh, I'm stressed. I don't feel good. I haven't, I'm injured. I've got 5 games in 2 days, in your tournaments when you're all fretting like that. Again, all in an effort to help you calm down that amygdala and that bodyguard. All right, so last time we talked about seeking praise from other people, avoiding criticism, and we just understood that it's feedback either way. So we have to understand that when we seek praise, we're trying to, we want to score the goal. We want to be on the ice, want to be on the power play, PK, and all this sort of things so that we can feel better ourselves, right? And then we get to the lobby or we get back in the car and it's like, how'd I do, Mom? How did I play, Dad? Where we're seeking that praise from other people. And then at the same time, we're also trying to avoid criticism. So if the coach is giving us feedback or your parents are firm or whatever it is, we're trying to run away from both, right? We're trying to we're trying to run to praise and we're trying to run away from criticism. But both of those things, and I know we used the whiteboard last time, both of those things are examples of external or extrinsic rewards. So what we want to focus on is internally, right? And just understand that, getting feedback from your coaches or your parents or, getting praise, that sort of stuff's just feedback. It doesn't mean you're good or bad, it just means that you're striving. So we want to go a different direction. We don't want to go east, west with trying to run away or I don't want to be criticized. We want to go up where we are centered and grounded and, structured and planned and, really focusing on that intrinsic piece. What are we doing? How have we prepared? How are we striving? And what kind of things are we checking off as we go? Because that makes you feel better on the inside. If I made a plan for 3 goals to have a better stick, to keep my feet moving, to finish my checks, or have good line changes, and I ticked off all 3 of those things, that would make me feel good on the inside. That's intrinsic. Okay, so that's what we need to focus on instead of running for this yo-yo confidence where we're searching and we're running away from criticism. Instead, we're going upward, we're grounded, we're structured, we gain some perspective. Okay, just looking at my notes there. Yeah, I just wrote that we're learning and growing as we go up instead of, seeking praise or running away. And, you serve and you contribute to your team and you build and you create something. It's much more positive than that, seeking praise. We don't want to run around all the time seeking praise. It's not yo-yo, right? It's up and down, up and down. We just want to focus on what we can to do to prepare. Okay, so this is this be, do, have model. And right now I've written it which way. Can someone read left to right for me? What are the 3 words across my top?
Have, do, be.
We got on the left, we have what again? Sorry.
Have,
Yep. And then
do,
have, do, be.
be.
Yeah, have, do, be. This is the way society, kids, and hockey wants you to be. Okay. Let me read the blurb at the bottom there. If I have more goals or points this season, I will do the things that top players do, like get noticed by coaches or play on better lines. And then I will be seen as the standout player or the leader on the team. So I'll say that again. If I have these things, if only I had more goals, if only I had more ice time, if only I was the captain, then I would be able to do these things that, you know, like a Reed Pogue would be able to do. And therefore, at the end, I would be special. I would be the guy, or I would be the girl. I would be the one that they tap on my shoulder. Okay. Do you think, and I'll stop sharing, do you think this is the right mindset, mentality to have? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Have, do, be, up or down? What do you think, Tibbs? Putting you on the spot, brother. If only I had these things, then I would do, and then I would be.
Well, that's not really a good mindset.
You got good instincts. Okay. We want to flip it around. Okay. We want to flip it around. I'll show you what it should be. Okay. It should be not that. It should be the be, do, have. Okay. If I can be confident and focused on my development. Okay. And I write some good things on this one with the be, do, have, man. Being is all about your thoughts and your feelings and your actions, your morals, your ethics, your hard work, your determination, the person that you want to be. It's drawing on the inside out model. Okay. This last slide is the outside in model. We want to go inside out. We want to be sound. Okay. We want to focus on what we can so that we become better hockey players and even better people. Then I will do the necessary work. So once I'm centered and I understand who I want to be, then I can set forth a path to do the necessary work, like putting in extra practices or staying mentally or you know, jumping on these chats with me. And then I will have the results. It will come. There's a huge difference between these two models. Everyone that doesn't really do things, people that are not really motivated, the delusional group, they're unmotivated. This is the model they follow. Well, if only I had the ice time, then I would do this and I would be like him or her. Not the right mindset. This one is the be, do, have model, where you want to stay strong, focus on who you want to be, the character, how you're going to bounce back, how you're going to show up, how you're going to react in those situations. Are you going to own your capabilities? What kind of person and player are you going to be? Then we can do all the things, man. We can get up early and stick handle and take extra shots and go for extra sessions with Ashley Jones and do all these different things that you have out there at your fingertips. And then as a result of that plan and me being a good person, I'm going to get some results, goals, points, and some recognition. This makes sense to you? Thumbs up. Okay. So when you catch yourself wanting, and I talked about the comparison trap there, if you catch yourself wanting what other people have, be sure to bring it in and flip. Okay, I'm not going to focus on external. I'm going to focus on me first. Who am I? What do I need to work on? What are my strengths and needs? What kind of person do I want to be? How I show up. This is a great slide. I love it. Good. All right. Next slide. Again, we're wired to be negative, and that's a result of that amygdala and that you know, that fight or flight self-preservation thing that's built into all of our brains. So last time we talked about being great. Try being great on for size. And I'm going to stop right here because this was about that list I wanted you to start creating. I don't know if anybody did or not. If not, we can just start working on that together right now. Is there anybody that started to write down a top 100? I know you can't, it's tough to get through 100 things, but was there anybody that wrote anything down there? Yeah, a couple things. Good. Anybody willing to share what they wrote down? Some success that they've had in the past, or I'm going to pick on some people too, because I know that we've had success together, right? I've been there with you. So Upple, we just had a best of best series this summer, and I thought you were one of the best forwards on the ice. What kind of game did you focus on when you were there? How did you play? Were you slow to make decisions, or were your feet moving? What were when you left rinks and you were like, yeah, I played well? What were some things that you had success with?
Well, I wanted to be there, so I was competing more than I really ever did. I was trying to prove to myself that I can stay with these guys and stuff.
I love that, man. And he said, I was proving it to myself, right? Because you've had a shift of level where you're playing this year and you're more than capable of playing at the top level, but you're playing in a different spot for now. And you upped your compete level, which is awesome. So you could write that down, right? My compete level was increased to prove it to myself, etc., because I belong to play with these players. Bogey, you and I have played together for a long time. You've been on lots of my teams, brother, and you're one of the best defensemen in the league. What are some successes that you have? I mean, we just finished a tournament in Peterborough.
Yeah.
We played every other shift, every third shift. You were out on the ice in all the situations. Is there anything that you really took away from that tournament with your own?
Just trying to play simple, doing the smart play and making the easy pass.
I love that. Simple plays, easy passes. Okay. So this is something you can start with. That's your number one, right? And number two, you can go through. And it's not just like big moments, kids. It can be little moments too, right? So DJ, when you go out to your game today, Deej, when you're playing against Barrie at 2:00, right? We can say to ourselves, okay, what are some things that I did really well today? Right? Did I move my feet? Did I shoot the puck when I had the opportunity? Did we win the game? Whatever it is, we can start chipping away at that list. Why do you think I'm having you do this list? Why do you think? What's the purpose of a top 100 list? To brag about yourself? Woohoo, I'm great. One reason, maybe. Why else? Why do you think I'm doing this list with you? Anybody?
It'll make
Spend-
you like reflect on what you did good, and then you can think about it more.
Great answer. When can it help you reflect?
When you're being negative.
Yeah.
When you're not good, right? When we're not good, we tend to spiral and think the worst. We can go back to our bloody top hundo. Here's my list. Oh, geez. I am doing well. I did accomplish things, right? And I'll show you a list in a slide from Bandura that helps explain that, okay? I know we're getting on with the presentation, but I want to show you this slide. So be good, man. Again, you're wired to be negative. Yeah, 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. 80% of them are negative. That fight, flight, or freeze thing baked into all of us to help us live longer and be healthy and safe. We need to practice being positive, right? Practice being positive. We can do that by changing the story in your head. Okay. We might say stuff like, I'm always too hard on myself. The solution is try being great on for size. Recognize your potential. Own your capabilities. How great can I be? And on the right here, I've got, a quick little slide that says change your story in your head. Because sometimes we say things over and over and we're like super negative. We could write, here's some sentence starters for you. When I turn pucks over, or when I make mistakes, or when I'm uncertain about my confidence level, I no longer am hard on myself or pessimistic. Instead, I refer to my top 100 list, or I use my breathing techniques, or I, take a moment to understand my amygdala and what it's doing and how I can calm down my brain, all those things, right? So use these sentence starters and they're interchangeable. These prompts like when, I no longer, and instead, I put them in for you. You can use different ones if you want. We can build those out together. If you want to text me, we can fire them up. All good. But start to change that in your head. When my coach fills my team with fluff, oh yeah, we're going to win a ton of games, guys. We're going to be great this year. I no longer get mad at him for it. I filter his message. I understand that he's being positive and wants to win. And instead, I focus on what I can control, okay? What I do and what I bring to the table, because I'm going to recognize my potential. Okay, so that's a quick one there. All right, so we'll end on this slide today, I think, because we'll get to that one next time because we're running out of time here. But when we talk a lot about confidence in your self-belief, this is an old behavioral psychologist by the name of Albert Bandura, and he talks about the 4 pillars of confidence: mastery experiences, vicarious experience, verbal persuasion, feedback, physiological feedback, emotions. But he defines he defines confidence as the ability to achieve a specific goal successfully, right? Do you believe that you can achieve these goals? And confidence goes up and down, right? Sometimes we feel great, sometimes we don't. But this is the theory of self-efficacy. Now, self-efficacy is the belief in your own ability. It's about confidence. And do I think I can do this? Now, the number one thing that contributes to your self-worth, your self-belief is mastery experience. So that means, have you done this before, right? Have you played in best of best? Have you been in important games and tournaments? Have you been on elite teams? Have you worked out with the top-notch athletes? And have you had success in the past? Have you mastered a skill? These are all things that you can draw on and rely on. Okay. That adds to your self-efficacy. That adds to your confidence and that self-belief. Okay. That's the number one thing. Have I done this before? Because if you haven't, and you try to make it up like, oh, I know I was told I should have been there. I was great. No big deal. But I'll do it next year. That's not founded on anything. It's just pie in the sky sort of, things that don't really exist. This mastery experience, it does. It's there. You've done it before. Okay. Number two is vicarious experience. So you may have heard this before, where we live vicariously through someone else. What this means is, socially, if I'm on a team and one of my teammates, again, I'll poke on Tanner this time. I'll say, you know what, that goalie over there, he's having a lot of success. He set a goal for himself. He's preparing better. And I'm going to watch him a little bit to see what he does in order to prepare. And the vicarious thing is, if he can have success at this level, so can I, right? Because I'm on his team and I can watch what he does and I can learn from how well he does and how well he prepares and how focused he is and how great of a character kid he is and that sort of stuff. So vicarious means that you're in those situations and we learn through other people. Okay. So that's number two. Number three, verbal persuasion is literally my whole essence, right? We get frustrated and I try to persuade you to think of things a different way. That's my role, is verbal persuasion, right? Or your parents might say things like, you know what? We got to go to bed on time. We need to prepare. You need to do this. We're going to work hard. We're going to set a path. We're going to set a goal. And they try to verbally persuade you to be motivated, to feel that self-worth. And the last pillar is physiological feedback or emotions. So if we go through things, we get feedback. Let's say, for example, we're going to give a speech in front of our class, or we have a really important game and there's people in the stands watching. If we go into that game or that speech in class and we're nervous and we start to get anxiety or stress about presenting in front of other people, the feedback that you'll get will chip away at your self-efficacy. It will knock down your confidence. It will help. It will, it criticizes you to the point where you feel like you're not good enough. You don't have that belief in yourself. You start to doubt. That's what I'm looking for. Whereas if you go into the speaking engagement or you go into the big hockey tilt excited, then that feedback is you're capable, you've got a belief in yourself, you're grounded, you're excited, and you have those good emotions. So these four things contribute to that efficacy that Bandura is talking about here, and your ability to hit a goal or not hit a goal. Okay, does that make sense with those four things? So when you master things, master skills, and you see other friends do it in your community and your teammate, they're having success, and Coach Corey's helping you with that verbal persuasion and helping you look through a different lens, understanding and owning your greatness. And then we're adjusting with that feedback that we get every time we present or we perform. Okay, these are all things that are going to either build our self-belief or knock it down. Okay. And next time when we jump on, we'll review some of these slides and we'll talk a lot about getting rid of the word confidence. I don't want you guys to talk about confidence anymore. Okay. We'll talk more about self-belief and what that looks like. Confidence is way too up or down. We're trying to get it all the time. Oh, I got it. And then when I got confidence, it's like, I don't want to give it up. I'm confident. And then you feel it slipping away and you're like, no, right? We don't want to focus on that word confidence. Instead, we'll talk more about self-belief and what that looks like. So to quickly review, we've been on here 45 minutes or so now. We've done some breathing techniques. We've talked a lot about seeking praise and that yo-yo confidence. Again, getting rid of the word confidence, understanding Bandura, that be, do, have model and what that looks like. Okay. and a lot of other good stuff too. So if you want to rewatch this, I encourage you to get on the site. It's under the MC Pro series. That's where I click it there, and that's for the upgraded members. And you can rewatch, or you want to take, screen grabs of the slides, they'll be up there. A lot of great stuff. I'll stick around if you want to chit chat for 10 minutes. I know people have to go places to eat and get ready for games, but I'm here for you if you want to ask any questions. Yeah. Anybody have any initial reactions to that slide show today? How'd you feel about it? All good? It makes sense? Does it help your shoulders relax a little bit? You're like, okay, I feel better, feel more confident. I feel that self-belief, right? We're trying to get rid of that word confident, and I'm using it. Does anybody have any questions about how you're feeling about your games? No? We're all good? All right. Well, again, if you don't feel comfortable sharing in front of everybody, as members, you can text me or reach out through Mentally Charged. I want to start to shoot some more content and get some more posts up there, but that takes a while to do. So I'm going to try to do that for sure. But I'm happy everybody here is here. I appreciate your time, and be sure to reach out to me. I know things get a little bit overwhelming. You might be beating yourself up if you've got a bad game or you feel stressed. I'm always here for you. Okay. That's the purpose of this. And make sure that you're getting on the site, you're logging in, you're checking out that content. It's all there for you as well. We're good? Everybody? Yeah? Good to go? Kasha, you still alive? Still awake? All right, all good. Okay, well, I'll hang around. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you
Thanks,
guys soon.
Corey.
Yeah, enjoy Saturday.
Thank
Let me know how
you.
you do in your games. You're welcome.
Thanks, Corey.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Corey.
You're welcome. Anytime, guys. Anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
Thank you, Corey.
You're welcome, Hayden. Anytime, buddy.